day and welcome to today's session where we're going to be friendly with ChatGPT. Okay, so we're going to make friends with ChatGPT today. It's going to be a nice session, right, where we talk about strategies for our business on social media. Okay, so as you know, we have in our notes the content ideas, right? So we said we're going to revisit this. So today is the day where we get to explore all these strategies and expand on them using ChatGPT. So set up, if you haven't already, an account on ChatGPT. You can link it with Google or you can set it up directly using your email address. So as we begin with this first half of the content ideas, I'm just copying what we have here and going straight to chat, right? So you'll see that you can do a lot, right? You can create an image that's with DALL-E. You can brainstorm, summarize text, right? And a whole lot more. So what we'll do is we'll just type in the chat box what we want to do exactly. So I'm going to speak to chat now, right? I usually greet, right? Say hello. Okay, we creating a strategic approach, okay, on, let me say, for social media, and have a new tech business / brand we're developing. Can we explore these ideas? Okay, so now I'm pasting the ideas down, right? So this is what we have on our presentation, on our material. Okay, so we've got the first half. So we can ask chat at the end there, right, to find out how can we adapt these into our new brand online. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so we've given it some context to say that we'd like a strategic approach on social media. This is a new brand in the tech. How can we apply this? Okay, so this is what we have now. So these ideas are fantastic for building a strong online presence for the new brand. So this is how we can adapt. So remind people who you are, how you've got started. Okay, so we've got number 1, where it says we share an original story, including the mission and what it serves in the township, and provide innovative tech solutions. Use visuals of your journey. So what it's done here, it's taken every single point that we've put and expanded, right? So it's basically elaborating on each idea. So when we go behind the scenes, you can show what the team is working on. So remember, now you're going into practicals. You've probably, some have already started. Now you can use the behind the scenes content, right, as you are learning in your practicals. Take the content. So someone should be there with the phone, taking the experience, capturing the experience. So because these are your hashtag BTS, right, behind the scenes posts that you'll be creating. So you develop, so essentially you'll be showing how working on the projects, developing tech solutions, or interacting with the community, like your community project, your assignment, going out, you taking photos as you engage with the different business owners and their entities. So all of that is content that you can be capturing during your journey, essentially, right? During your practicals. So in terms of sharing a personal story, you can highlight a story about your team or a founder that resonates with your mission. So you'll get to see that already there's some content of previous alumni, previous participants, right, that have gone through the project, that they tell their story, they tell where they come from and how the project has helped them or the program has helped them. So you can actually start capturing these type of pieces of content yourself, where each member can say, okay, hi, I come from X township, and this is what I've learned in the program. This is my journey, and essentially draw from that, right? And say essentially what your experience has been in the tech industry so far, right? So you can capture and why you love tech. What do you think the opportunities are in this industry, and what do you think people should be focused on, or what would you like to highlight, right? And always keep in mind that who you're speaking to, right? That you are talking to a potential customer. So what do you want to communicate, right? Do you want to speak about your story in a sense of this is what we're doing, right? So that they can follow your story, because that is a great angle. Or do you want to teach? Do you want to share? This is how we put the components together. This is how we build in terms of probably robotics or cell phones. So you can choose the angle in which you tell your story, right? So you'll get to see the different points. We're not going to go through every single point. This is just to show you that with chat, you can essentially give it an idea. It's all about how you prompt it, right? So in other words, when you create your story, right, you put the idea and then it can help you expand. Okay, so I'm just going to fetch the rest of the ideas, okay, so that we can have a complete approach with all the ideas that we have here. Okay, so coming back to chat to say thank you so much. We'll apply the strategies accordingly. Here's more to expand on. Okay, now we're going to add the rest. So now it knows what to do, right? Because we've given it instructions before. So these ideas, just to say, customized with your brand's values and services, can help build an authentic, engaging online presence for your new tech business. So now we've got some more and we're creating over there. Okay, so now it's typing the rest. So these strategies can add great depth to your context. So here's how we can adapt. And then it goes into what would be what we went through in the beginning. Okay, so I'm just doing this because we're just expanding on the rest of what we have. So incorporating these ideas can help your social feed, right, be fresh, engaging, and it's valuable for the tech audience. So each approach highlights different aspects of the business and helps build a well-rounded presence. Now we want to zoom down into understanding how do we apply these strategies, right, into our business in a practical way that shows the steps that we have to take, right? So these are ideas. Now they are into more of a strategic approach. Now from the strategic approach, we want to have a strategic plan, right? So let's ask chat how we can do that. Okay, so we say, awesome, how can we apply these into a strategic strategic plan now that we can follow to create social media engagements across prominent platforms. Okay, so let's have a look at that. We're basically asking how we can have these ideas into a strategic plan. Let's see and apply it. Okay, so we just say steps to follow, so we can be more specific, right? Okay, let's see what it comes up with. So here's a step-by-step approach to create and execute social media strategy plan that builds engagement across prominent platforms. So it's taken the question and it's literally given us a step-to-step approach. So we have to define the brand's social media objectives. As we know, right, why do we want to do this? So it's very key to identify what's the reason behind it. Is it brand awareness? Are we making people aware of the brand, right? Are we driving people to the website? Are we generating leads? Are we building a community? All of that is very different. It might sound like it's almost the same, but it's very different, right? Because if you're going to build a brand, and it depends on which stage you are at, right? So if it's a new brand, obviously brand awareness would be key to start, so people are aware that there's a new brand. Okay, this is also great if you're rebuilding a brand. So it's probably existing, now it just needs to be reintroduced, right? Or maybe you're launching an app, now you would have an awareness campaign. So that is very different to driving traffic to the website, because how you communicate will be different to making people aware of the brand, right? If you're going to generate leads, you are obviously going to have a different call to action than having to just tell people that this is who we are. Okay, if you're building a community, you also will have a different approach, right? So defining the objective becomes key as step one. So know the audience. Who are you speaking to? We spoke about this. Define the target audience. Who exactly is it that we're solving for? Who is the solution going to, right? Is it a business owner that's just started out? Is it an entrepreneur that is working and now they're wanting to develop a new brand? So you have to define who it is. Is it corporate, right? Is it specific directors within the corporate industry that you are communicating to? Who are you communicating to? Is it scholars? Right? Is it people in the tertiary? So knowing your audience will be key. So obviously you'll go into more detail. Develop content themes and pillars. So meaning the types of content. So is it educational? Right? So are you going to do tutorials? How to? Right? Engagement. How do you create that engagement? You can ask questions, right? As a poll, meaning people can literally, I'm sure you know the different polls, right? You can ask questions where people can choose what they would want, or maybe what they think or what they've gone through, right? So different types of questions to create engagement. People also love bringing in their opinions, so this is a great way to spark up a conversation. So promotional content, service highlights, what is it that you provide, right? Testimonials of those you've already provided the solution to, what your customers are saying. You can post about that. Inspirational content, your hashtag, success stories and the wins, like maybe you've signed up the first partner, right? So it all depends on how you develop your content, but do consider for each platform. So it goes into detail in terms of each platform and the approach you can take, right? For Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X. So then you create your monthly calendar. So when you're done developing your themes and your pillars for each platform, then you can have a monthly content calendar. So then you plan it out, right? Include your hashtag tips on Tuesdays, maybe throwback Thursdays, and seasonal posts, so your holidays as well. Plan that out, mix the content so that you know that we've got a mix of what you're selling, promotional content, what you are informing about, educational content, what you're asking about, something that's more engaging, question answer, right? So that you're not just talking about the product or talking about the business, because that we have to obviously avoid, right? Ad campaign, special events that you're doing or attending. Okay, then step 5 is to build content creation workflow. So the content creation workflow, where you can use tools like Canva. We touched on obviously how you can use Canva. You can use Canva in a whole lot of ways. So it does have a tool where you can create the calendar on there. And what's lovely about that is that it can link your social media platforms, so that as you're done with the post, you can publish it from Canva to your business pages, right? So you can also use scheduled posts, like Hootsuite, we said, although now you can just directly schedule your posts on the platforms, each platform, but these make it easier because then you just do it on one platform and it goes across, right? So develop engagement guidelines. So all of these steps become quite vital in the approach. So ChatGPT helps to take what we had, which was just an idea, into a strategy and then a plan that we can follow step by step. So just to go through the plan, promote engagement actively, analyze and refine your strategy, because obviously once you have started posting, you need to see what the metrics look like, right? You need to be able to see how people are engaging with the posts, right, on each platform, so that you can then understand what people like the most, right? Which content is performing well, so you can do more of that or adjust and see, okay, if we had to maybe ask the question in this way, what would the result be? Okay, so you always analyze, evaluate, refine, okay, and then reiterate what it is that is best. Okay, so build your relationships and community, and then plan seasonal and quarterly campaigns. So now you can look at your plan and say, okay, let's create a plan for this quarter. Okay, so what does the December season look like, the festive season look like? Okay, so then that's your seasonal approach. Okay, so you know that this is a festive season. What do people want to know? You know, how people feeling? You know, what is it that they care mostly about? Usually it's their body, having a summer body. So for example, right? So how do you communicate to speak directly to the season? Okay, and then you stay consistent, obviously adapt to the trends. So this is essentially how you can use ChatGPT to feed you with an approach, feed you with content, expand on what it is that you have, right? And yeah, essentially you can take it from there. So let's just read. By following these steps, you have a structured, adaptable approach to maximize engagement across your social media channels, helping build a loyal audience for your tech brand. Okay, so we'll stop right there, but do expand more, and maybe we can just ask what else we should consider. So let's just see, what else should we consider? Just want to say thanks, by the way. And then let's see, and we can wrap up this session, and you can then go ahead and explore some more. So it's saying we should define our brand voice. Our tone becomes very important to our brand identity. Stay on top of the trends again. Leverage on paid advertising. You will have a link on how to advertise on Meta. There's a video that we've done on that. So do explore more on that. Collaborate with influencers and industry partners. That will give you leverage. Utilize data-driven content creation. So obviously create your content according to the data that you receive, right? Test the data and then test your campaigns, and then be able to know which content to leverage off. Implement a social listening strategy. Obviously understand the audience and listen to what they want, right? Gauge the audience and then respond. Okay, so know the guidelines. Plan the content, strategies of the buyer's journey. So this becomes super important as well, because how people interact with your brand before they purchase and after is the journey. Okay, so the buyer's journey, the customer journey. Repurpose content. If you've done something that's great and you want to repost it, maybe remix it as well. That's what that is about, to maximize the use. consider accessibility and inclusivity. This means that if you're going to post, you'll see that there's an alt text, right, where you get to describe the image that you're posting. This helps people that are not really able to see what you're posting to know what it's about, right? So it's very important to consider that when you post, don't just put the picture up there, describe what the picture is about, because it helps to reach people that may not be able to see your content. So it's able to describe what it is. Okay, so obviously see what's going on in the industry and establish a regular review process. So what I would suggest is that you sit as a team, right? And have a weekly review. So you know that on Monday you sit and you say, okay, how are we planning out the week, right? Or even the week, the following week, right? And then on Friday you can review. So, and look at what performed well, what should be changed, how are your posts being received, right? And then you're able to set new goals from there, and then take your content plan and amend it accordingly. Okay, so that's it for today. And I really, really wish you all the best with your brands. And I'll definitely be looking out for each and every one of you. And thank you so much. Please do give that feedback. Looking forward to the assignments, and happy creation.